Washington, D.C., New York, Atlanta, July 2025. Something unusual happened during a wave of protests sweeping across major U.S. cities. Among the chants calling for justice, economic fairness, and resistance against authoritarianism, one unexpected name kept surfacing: Ibrahim Traoré, the young, military leader of Burkina Faso. For many Americans, especially younger protesters, Traoré's name wasn't just unfamiliar, it was a revelation. But for millions across Africa, especially in the Sahel region, Captain Ibrahim Traoré has already become a symbol of defiance, independence, and hope in the face of global exploitation and neocolonial control. Now, somehow, his reputation has crossed the Atlantic and entered the very heart of American political discourse, even catching the attention of Donald Trump, who reportedly expressed confusion and concern over the sudden idolization of a foreign military leader. So how did this happen? The unlikely symbol of resistance. Ibrahim Traoré rose to power in 2022 after leading a coup that removed a Western-backed president amid increasing insecurity, widespread poverty, and political stagnation. Rather than simply consolidating power for himself, Traoré took a bold approach, expelling French troops, cutting off ties with certain Western financial institutions, and calling for a new Pan-Africanism rooted in economic independence and unity. Under his rule, Burkina Faso has seen a surge in national pride, regional alliances with Mali and Niger, and policies focused on self-reliance, anti-corruption, and dignity for the African people. While critics label him authoritarian, supporters, especially on African social media, describe him as Africa's Thomas Sankara 2.0, referring to the iconic revolutionary also from Burkina Faso who was assassinated in 1987. But what does this have to do with American protesters? TikTok, Instagram, and Gen Z. Traoré's face goes viral. The turning point came from a viral video on TikTok, where an African-American user attending a student protest in Chicago posted a short clip with the caption, "Why isn't anyone like this running America?" The video featured Traoré delivering a fiery speech about rejecting Western interference and standing up for Africa's sovereignty, in French with English subtitles. The post gained over 4.7 million views in 2 days. Soon after, dozens of US-based content creators began posting Traoré explainers, drawing comparisons between him and US political figures. Many praised his simplicity, his military uniform, refusal to enrich himself, and his bold defiance against global power structures. Some posts jokingly read, "Can we borrow Traoré for 4 years? Traoré 2028, the president America needs." The online craze quickly spilled into the streets. During a protest outside the U.S. Capitol, one young activist was seen waving a sign reading, "Traoré speaks for us too." In New York City, graffiti appeared overnight. Traoré is not just Burkina Faso's president. He's a global voice. Trump response. Unsurprisingly, the sudden appearance of Ibrahim Traoré's name in U.S. protests caught the attention of conservative political figures, including former President Donald Trump, who is currently campaigning for a second non-consecutive term in 2028. In a speech in Ohio, Trump said, "We don't need African dictators inspiring our students and radicals. America should be exporting freedom, not importing military socialism." This statement was met with both applause from supporters and mockery online, with many social media users posting side-by-side comparisons of Traoré and Trump's leadership styles, highlighting Traoré's humble lifestyle versus Trump's lavish empire. One meme that went viral featured Trump holding a golf club with the caption, "Billionaire complains," next to Traoré handing out bread to villagers in the Sahel, caption, "Captain delivers." Why Traoré's message resonates in the U.S. At first glance, it might seem odd that an African military leader would become a rallying figure in American protests. But analysts say it reflects a deeper generational dissatisfaction with the U.S. political and economic system. Many American Gen Z activists are disillusioned by increasing wealth inequality, police violence, endless foreign wars, and the influence of corporate money in politics. In contrast, Traoré is seen as someone who fights the system, rather than benefiting from it. His rejection of foreign debt, calls for Pan-African unity, and emphasis on self-determination mirrors the kind of leadership younger Americans say they crave, one that puts people before profit. Global solidarity or misplaced idealism. While some celebrate the international embrace of Traoré's leadership style, others warn against romanticizing authoritarianism. Political experts point out that Traoré came to power through military force, has limited press freedom, and operates in a context very different from liberal democracies. Still, for many U.S. protesters, it's not about copying Traoré's methods. It's about admiring his courage. In a world where so many leaders appear compromised or corrupt, Traoré's image represents a clean break from business as usual. Burkina Faso responds. We see you too. Back in Ouagadougou, news of Traoré's viral fame in the U.S. has not gone unnoticed. State media aired clips of American protests where his name was chanted. The Minister of Youth even tweeted, "To our brothers and sisters across the ocean, we hear your voices. Africa stands with all those fighting for justice." Traoré himself has not officially commented, but a presidential spokesperson remarked, "This only shows that the struggle for dignity, independence, and people-centered governance is universal." From sideline to spotlight. It's rare for an African leader to trend globally for positive reasons. For decades, African heads of state have been either ignored or vilified in Western media. But Traoré's rise reflects a global hunger for alternative leadership models, ones that challenge the existing order and dare to put humanity before empire. Whether his moment in the American spotlight is fleeting or becomes a deeper movement remains to be seen. But for now, Ibrahim Traoré's face is on posters, his voice is in chants, and his ideas are spreading far beyond the borders of Burkina Faso. And perhaps that's the most revolutionary act of all.